everybody, welcome to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh.
And I'm Grant Thompson, just along for the ride, and today we are going to be talking about the leadership ally, the Greenwood Archer, from the Sands of Arad. The 2 cost, 0 willpower, 2 attack, 0 defense, 1 hit point, ranged Sylvan, with the response after Greenwood Archer enters play, ready a hero. So, David, what's your thoughts on this Sylvan?
Well, before I talk a little bit about my thoughts, I just wanted to tell everybody, certain cards only make sense within certain decks. So I think that Grant and I are realizing that, and so we wanted to spend some time talking about cards that only made sense in specific decks, and so we decided to go with Sylvan, the slippery Sylvan deck, with the specific deck, where the Sylvans come in and out of play based on those events that tree people and things like that. And I think that the Greenwood Archer, getting into some of my analysis, was one of those cards that was iffy up until about a month ago, because the latest adventure pack, as of recording, was the one that really helped this guy out, because of Thranduil. He readies a hero. So during the normal planning phase, he's not that good to bring out. And yeah, before Thranduil, you could bring him into play with tree people if you got lucky. You could tree people in and ready a hero, and that's good. But with Thranduil now, Thranduil allows you to bring any Sylvan into play during the combat phase. So you can legit bring this guy out every turn, and you can have an action advantage because you can bring him out during the combat phase, ready a hero, and use that hero again. That is tremendous for 2 cost to get not only that ally into play, but also your hero back. It's just, to me, this card was iffy in my deck, or in this deck, until Thranduil was announced. And then I was like, he's got to be in it because you get that action advantage. And again, I think outside of the deck, there's not much use, because there's not a lot of times, unless you're going to sneak attack him in. I just think there's better targets for sneak attack. I just think that there's probably not much that you're going to do outside of a Sylvan deck to bring this guy into play. I think that there's a lot better options for this guy. Yeah, he's got archery, so he's got archery. He's an enemy now. He's got range, so he can kind of help. But again, in this particular deck, I'm not using the ranged ability for anything other than to feed Rumil. And so if I had a choice between him and the Galadon Archer, I'm picking him because he gives that action advantage. Grant, what do you think?
I like the Greenwood Archer. And inside a Sylvan deck with Thranduil, he's brilliant. But thinking of him outside of your slippery Sylvan deck, he is still a very good ally. Obviously, that 2 attack, 1 hit point, we spoke about the Galadon Archer not being ideal, and that's still the case. But if you're running, say, Denethor, a scrying deck, and you scry during the planning phase so you know what's coming, and then you play Greenwood Archer, you've got your defender back. He works better in the Sylvan deck, no 2 ways, but he's still got use and versatility outside of that as well. That added action advantage could quite conceivably save your life, especially, as I've just said, with Denethor. If you are going, say, on the return to Mirkwood, and you use Denethor's ability, and you've got add a cop on the top of your deck. But you wouldn't have used that if you hadn't had the Greenwood Archer in play. You've just saved yourself a lot of damage there. You've just saved yourself a hero. So I actually really enjoyed playing with the Greenwood Archer. I've used him in a couple of decks. His ability is definitely situational. But I also like that it doesn't have to be a hero you control. It could be a hero your partner controls or another player controls. However many players you're playing with, it could be one of their heroes. It doesn't matter. It's as soon as he goes into play, you can ready a hero. So that's what I like about him.
Yeah, I never really thought about running him with heroes that you want to exhaust at the beginning of your turn. What is Baravor's ability?
That's exhaust to draw 2 cards.
There you go. And is it limit once per round?
Yes, it has been errated once per round.
Okay, so but that's pretty powerful there too. So I guess there is some cases that where you would want to use it. The problem that I have with it is that typically you don't want to. Typically, you're not exhausting your hero before you get into questing and attack and defense. And so that's why, for me, that card isn't as strong. What I do like about the Galladon Archer is that it's in sphere for this deck. There's two leadership heroes, so you can bring the Galladon Archer out even at the beginning of your at the game, not to use his ability, but just to have a 3 attack with Celeborn, a 3 attack, 1 willpower, 1 willpower ally that helps out. So to be in sphere helps the deck set up your board state.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
So there's not much more to be said about this here ally.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point of doing these shorter shows about certain cards within a deck. And so is that.
So do you want to ring them?
So I think we should ring them. And for these episodes that we're doing, that for cards that are kind of specific to deck types or not, some of them can be found in general use. I think we're doing 2 ring ratings, so we're rating them against the whole card pool, and then we're also ringing them within the deck themselves. So Grant, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you get for both your ratings here?
Well, for the overall card pool, he's a squishy ally, but his response for that action advantage has come in useful. I'm giving him 6 rings. For overall use in your Slippery Sylvan's deck, I'm giving him 3 rings, because obviously you can pull him into play during the combat phase. You can then attack for 3. So yeah, that's my ratings. What about yours?
So I think against the whole card pool, he's on the order for me, on the order of the Galladon Archer. He's got to be an 8. Just because he readies an ally or a character, readies a hero. There's not very many heroes that you're going to use during the resource phase, anyways. And I don't think you're going to sneak attack him into play just to ready a hero. You could. It's a corner case, but
if you've got access to the the leadership resources, it doesn't have to be snuck in. You could use, say, Baravor, for example, draw 2 cards, and then play him as if you want to play him normally. Ready Baravor, and that gives you action advantage with her, so you can either quest with her or attack with her.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I think that those are very limited cases. Like you said with Denethor, I just don't. Yeah. I'm not convinced.
Denethor is just a case I've had myself. So.
Right. Right. And Denethor's ability is good, especially leadership, you're in sphere and stuff, but I still think it's an 8.
You're thinking of the wrong one, mate. The Denethor.
The lore, right? You're right. The lore, right? Denethor. Sorry.
Lorathor.
Right, Lorathor. But I think in the deck, this card could be replaced, but again, he's got the range character, so we're feeding Rumil to get that final kill. And I think that this card, this ally, is better than the Galladon Archer in terms of what it gives you for your overall board state. So I like him better than the Galladon Archer, so I'm going to give him 3 rings within the deck.
Oh, good. I've already put your rating in.
You know me so well. So why don't you join us again next time as we talk about more cards from the game. Have a great day. And if you're interested in finding this or any of our back episodes of Card Talk, feel free to search YouTube where you can find our flagship video episodes with the username Card Talk 2018. Or you can search the RSS feed, cardtalk2018.libsyn.org, for our extended audio versions of our podcast. Or you can find us on Facebook at Card Talk 2018. And if you have any questions for Grant or myself or for both of us, feel free to email us at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.